Now, I was going to cover the situation with the Nolan Wells autopsy report. Everyone's covering that, or they're covering the situation with the firings at ESPN. But I feel like there's a bigger story that is going, is going unnoticed. And that's the story of this lady, Kendra Scott, killing, allegedly murdering a young man, 20 years old, who she found under the bed, under her 13-year-old daughter's bed, upon arriving home at 1 a.m. in the morning. Allegedly, Kendra Scott pulled out a gun on this guy, this 20-year-old man, walked him to the front door, or he fled towards the front door, and she shot him in the back of the head. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, this was some predator. He was in the house with her 13-year-old daughter. It's pretty much an open and shut case, because that's what I thought. But as I learn more details about this case, and the fact that this lady has now been charged with first-degree murder, man, this is a crazy story that I feel teaches us a lot of lessons on a lot of different levels. Let's get to the let's get everybody up to speed, people who may not know about this case.
A Memphis mother was charged with murder after a deadly shooting inside her home. Police said Kendra Scott found a man inside her daughter's bedroom and shot him.
She seemed like a real nice lady. And all I can say is that hurts to know that someone was in there with one of her little girls.
The man was found with a gunshot wound and was pronounced dead at the scene. Scott told police she found him under her child's bed, but investigators later learned the girl had invited him into the home.
It does not describe an imminent threat, according to the affidavit at the time the shot was fired.
The daughter told officers Scott had previously threatened to shoot any boy she found inside the house. Scott was charged with first-degree murder and a firearm offense. Did she protect her daughter or go too far? A Memphis mother was charged with murder after a death.
Now, did this lady go too far, or was she just protecting her daughter? That's what everybody's, that's the question. Now, when I first heard this story, I said, look, an intruder came in. She caught him in there. He was hiding under her daughter's bed. She chased him out and shot him. Me personally, if that was just a straight up and down situation where the guy broke into the house, was in there with her daughter, and she shot bro, even while he's running, as a staunch defender of the Second Amendment, I would congratulate the lady. And that's what I saw a lot of people doing in the comment section of videos that were covering this story, primarily women. Then my friend yesterday called me. We had a conversation, and he put me up on the details of the case. And after doing my own research, I'm coming to the conclusion that this lady committed first-degree murder. As a matter of fact, I'm coming to the conclusion that this lady committed premeditated murder, which is first-degree murder. But I come to the conclusion that this lady premeditated the murder of this guy, because there's a lot to this story that, the women folk who are celebrating because a woman killed a man who was in the room with her precious daughter. And I am speaking as a man who has a 17-year-old daughter, right? And I also believe my daughter is precious. But at a certain point, we're going to have start having a discussion about the over-sexualization of our daughters and the world that we have created, which keeps parents out of the home, right? And makes it easier not only for predators to take advantage of them, but it makes it easier for our children to basically be caught under the wrong influence and then start behaving in a way that is not consistent with our values. Why is your 13-year-old daughter home alone at 1 o'clock in the morning? Why is your 13-year-old daughter home alone at 12 o'clock a.m.? Why is your 13 9-year-old daughter in a position to where she can Uber a man, a grown-ass man, over to your house and have him in her room and go as far as to hide this man under her bed when she hears you coming in to the house. If you came in at 1 a.m., right, that means that she expected you, and you caught her, that means she expected you to not be home until 2 or 3 in the morning. Because kids ain't just like, I'm going to keep you in the house, walk right up until my mama get in the house. But we got to talk about this, because while it looks like it's a straight up and down case, this is a case of premeditated murder. And I know that because we Black, you know what I'm saying? We Black, we got to defend this lady. Well, we're expected to defend this lady, but I'm not doing that. And I know that it's, you know, we have this hypocritical war on people who take advantage of children, right? That's what we say, right? But we know that our desire to protect our children is totally arbitrary, right? It's only based on who it is committing the offense. Because let's be real, Black folks are still dealing with the stigma of the creepy uncle who is touching all the kids in the family, and all the women in the family are defending this dude. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, because this is a reality that exists in Black families. From the granny to your sister to your auntie, y'all all know creepy Uncle Jimmy is filling up all the kids, and y'all protect them because that's Big Mama Baby, right? So I'm looking at this situation, and I'm finding out some crazy facts about this situation. Sorry. I'm finding out some crazy facts about this situation, because one of the things my friend revealed to me is that this guy,
this is video recorded
this guy, though he was 20 years old, I'm finding out that this dude was special needs. This dude was on the spectrum. And a lot of people are saying, you know, he shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. Why is a 20-year-old boy or man going to meet with a 13-year-old girl? And because I work with people who are on the spectrum and they are on autism, they're autistic, understand, autism is something falls under a category of disabilities known as developmental disabilities. First and foremost, if you don't know what a developmental disability is, you need to go look it up. A developmental disability is a disability that causes you to develop slower than a normal person. So if you have a person who is autistic, right, and they're, you know, pretty high on the spectrum, that person could be 20 years old and be walking around with the mindset of a 7-year-old child. And the crazy thing about it is, depending on, you know, how severe their autism is, they will develop at a slower pace. So when that kid, that's why a lot of these people, when they're young, they don't walk until they're older. So like a normal kid is born, they grow up to they're like 1 or 2 years old, they'll start walking because they're developing on time, you know, normally. An autistic child might not learn to walk until they're 5 to 7 years old. Some of them won't even learn to walk till they're 8 years old, because their brain is developing or growing at a slower pace than a normal person. So when you walk in and on his face say, oh, there was a 20-year-old man who was under the bed of a 13-year-old girl, you have to look at this, you know, for what it is. It wasn't just a 20-year-old man under the bed of a 13-year-old girl. It was a 20-year-old autistic man, a man who is, he is dealing with or struggling with a developmental disability under the bed of a 13-year-old girl. So though he's 20 years old, in his mind, he very well may be 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old. For many years, I looked after a young man. He's 22 years old. This guy still wants to trade Pokemon cards. This guy still wants to watch Naruto. This guy still wants to watch Bunked. If you don't know what that is, it's on the Disney Channel. This guy still wants to watch Jesse. He's a 22-year-old man with a beard and a receding hairline, but everything about his mind is that of an 11-year-old, 10 to 11-year-old child. This guy still sleeps in the bed with a stuffed animal. This guy still wants to wear Spider-Man pajamas and dress up in a police officer uniform and go trick-or-treating on Halloween. Everything about who he is in his mind is a younger person, is coming at a younger age. It's no surprise that this young man, he didn't walk until he was like 6 or 7 years old because he is developmentally disabled. And one of the things I cannot stand about the Black community is how we try to throw out facts, science, evidence, and everything else when it comes to us getting our way, or when it comes to us wanting to look at things a certain way that's totally out of context. The same people who joined the white liberals in, oh, you got to follow the science during COVID. When it comes to this Black lady murdering, this is murder. This is murder. When it comes to this Black lady murdering this young man, it's like, fuck the science. It don't matter. He shouldn't have been in that situation. He got what he deserved. I hear people, Black women and single mother raised Black beta males saying that this guy got what he deserved. Yeah, he shouldn't have never been over there. But when you really break it down and look at it and see that this is a case of a young 13-year-old hood rat luring a developmentally disabled man to her house, knowing her mother said, if I catch someone in this house, I'm going to kill them. This puts things in a whole different context. I'm at the point where the young girl need to be in juvie and the mama need to be in prison. That's where I am with it. I'm at the point where the young girl needs to be in juvie until she's 24 years old, and the mama needs to be in jail for the rest of her life. Because this looked like a setup. You got a mentally disabled person killed. And then the boy ran to her. He tried to run away because the mama had him at gunpoint. The mother maliciously, viciously shot this boy in the back of the head. Could you imagine you're developmentally disabled? He's 20 in his mind. But for all intents and purposes, he's a child. He probably just was confused and didn't know what the hell was going on. So he sees a gun. Any kid, even if you're 10 or 9, sees a gun, you're trying to run away. When he's trying to run away, he's not even a threat to you anymore. And you must remember, your daughter invited this man over. She Ubered this boy. How does your daughter, who's 13, have Uber? The girl was fast in the ass. She was taking advantage of the dude, and she ultimately got this dude killed. Her mama killed this boy. It was premeditated. It was malicious, and it had nothing to do with the preservation of her daughter's sanctity or her virginity. This girl knew her daughter was fast and still found a reason to be out till 1 o'clock in the morning. And the fact that she caught her daughter at 1 o'clock in the morning means the daughter didn't expect her to be there till maybe 2, 3, 4, or maybe even until the next day. So you had a habit of leaving your kids at home overnight alone, knowing you had a fast-ass 13-year-old daughter. Come on, y'all. You cannot make this stuff up. But this is the type of stuff Black people do to each other. It makes no sense. And I'm going to tell you, this idea of hunting down predators and accusing people of being predators and all this stuff, this has become while it initially was something that was viewed as virtuous, it was something that was viewed as heroic, right? In my opinion, this has just become an excuse for people to commit violence and aggress against people. To do vigilante justice against people. Because you could say, yo, this person is a predator, right? But you haven't went to a court to prove that they've done a crime. She came in the house like, yo, bro, did something with my daughter. You have no proof that he actually had sex with your daughter. This guy's mind is young. He probably like, oh, it's a cute girl. She's telling me to come over. She gonna get me an Uber, and I'm gonna go over there and we gonna hang out. You don't know what his intentions was. But clearly, he wasn't that much of a predator, seeing as your daughter felt safe enough with him to bring him to your house and then hide him under the bed when you walk through the door. It's clear that the only threat that this girl perceived was the threat of her mother and her mother's anger, right? Y'all watch these shows and on YouTube and stuff. Oh, To Catch a Predator, they calling people, trying to set people up to meet 13-year-old girls, 14-year-old girls. Now that's wrong, 100%. But what makes that wrong is because as a grown-ass man, you know better. As a grown-ass man in your right mind, you know better. But the problem that arises and what makes these type of situations dangerous, and this subculture, because this is what this is a subculture that has been created. What makes this subculture dangerous is when you are engaging with these people, you don't know anything about their history. You don't know anything about their mental health. You don't know if they're developmentally disabled. You don't know what kind of trauma they've dealt with. You don't know any of that stuff. And if you do what the people on the YouTube do, which is call the cops, you're 100% in your right. Thank you for your service. But if you take it to the next level, like what she did, which was shoot somebody in the back of the head, you're out of bounds. And I'm sorry, but if I was on a jury, I would have to send you away to jail for the rest of your life. Things are not as simple as many African American people would like them to be. One thing we do in our community is try to oversimplify very complicated situations. With things that have multi-layered dynamics, we try to minimalize it and simplify it to its lowest common denominator so that we can feel like a sense of so we can like be exonerated as far as like how we think, right? We can feel a sense of validation for being reactive, hyper emotional beta males and masculine, women, because that's what that was. Why didn't you just call the police? Why didn't you just see what the hell was going on with this dude? But I want you to listen to this, because a lot of people were like, well, how do you know he has a problem? Because they interviewed his freaking school teacher, which is crazy.
Her mother has told her in the past if she discovered a boy in the home, he would be faced with violence. People look at this and they say, well, he should have been in that situation in the first place.
And I agree. I do agree. I do not condone his actions as going and mingling with a 13-year-old. However, when you're cognitively not 20, what do you expect? And
exactly.
I found out last night that from his sister, no one knew that he was gone away from the house.
Perkins believes Morton thought the girl was older and didn't understand the law.
I just wish she wouldn't have never shot him. That's it. There were so many opportunities for her to stop and think. So many different ways that this could have had a different outcome. So many different ways. Call the police. If you got a gun, hold them there to gunpoint till the police gets there.
Yeah, but that was never going to happen, because I'm telling you today, and it's going to make a lot of people mad. Black America has developed a bloodlust. Black America has developed a bloodlust, and it's not just the men, it is also the women, and has even infected the minor children that are under 18. We are walking around many Black people are walking around looking for an excuse to murder someone else, to slaughter someone else with no mercy. Lady, you have a gun for protection. Once you had that boy at gunpoint and he was trying to run off, there is no justification for you shooting that boy in the back of his head. Now, if this is an intruder, and I walk in and my daughter's like, Dad, he did it. Yes, I'm lighting your ass up, right? But when your daughter has hidden this man under her bed, you know the girl was hiding him because you had to search for him. She didn't say, Mom, he under the bed, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But it's crazy how your failure as a parent turns into someone else losing their damn life. It's crazy how your negligence as a parent led to you having a fast in the ass daughter, right? Right at puberty, where her hormones is going wild, 13 years old, right? You feel it's okay to leave her at home by herself overnight. And then when she does the very thing that a fast in the ass girl who's being raised by a parent who's not around does, you feel you have the right to kill somebody. You should have killed yourself, because ultimately at the end of the day, you are the reason why this situation is even occurring. Now, my daughter is 17 years old. She's been left home overnight by herself a couple times, but when we leave her home by herself, her male cousins are here. If they're not here, we tell them, go over there to the house and check and see what's going on over there. Also, when we were staying in our house, we had the alarm system where you open the door, it alerts you. You close the door, it alerts you. The window opens, it alerts you. You don't have any of that. You're suspecting there's someone else. Let's be real. You know someone's in the house because you clearly caught her before, right? You know she's already sexually active. You know that. Understand that. Why does this young disabled man have to die? Because you failed as a parent. And I'll say this, and I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm saying. We live in a world that is increasingly being filled with people who absolutely refuse to take responsibility for their own actions and are always looking for someone else to blame for the situations that they have caused and created. That boy had to die, right? And I'm going to tell you why she killed him. She killed him because if he would have got away, word would have got out that her 13-year-old daughter was sneaking grown-ass men into the home to have sex with them, right? And it would have ruined her reputation as a mother. And as the saying goes, dead men tell no tales. She thought she was going to kill that dude, say he broke in the house, and the daughter was going to corroborate her story, and she was going to get away with first-degree murder. That's what she thought. Because if you've never been around women, that's how women break shit down in their mind, right? The black ego of the male and woman is undefeated. This was all done to preserve her image to society. And what did she do at the end of the day? She ruined her image. She destroyed her image, and she also revealed that in just a little 13 years, she failed her daughter as a parent, and she was willing to kill. She was willing to murder, to commit murder, so that she wouldn't be forced to take responsibility or accountability for it. That's all I see right here.
Following new developments in the case of a Memphis mother accused of shooting and killing a man she says she found hiding under her daughter's bed. In court this morning, Kendra Scott, who is charged with first-degree murder, had her bond set at $100,000 and was also ordered not to have contact with the victim's family. Memphis police say when they initially arrived to the scene last week, the victim, Rodarius Morton, was found dead near the home's porch after he had been shot in the back of the head. WREG's Shay Arthur is live tonight after speaking with a former teacher of Morton's and what she wants people to know about him. Shay?
Hey, Stephanie. Yeah, she says this case could have been handled so many other ways, not ending with a 20-year-old man being killed. Perkins says she's the former middle school teacher of Rodarius Morton, who Memphis police say was shot and killed early last Thursday morning in the Walker Homes neighborhood. She said Morton had learning disabilities.
He was special needs, and I was his special needs teacher.
She described him as soft-spoken and respectful, shocked by his death.
Unbelievable. Very, very hurt, because the young man that I knew that most people don't know, based off of this story, they don't know him personally like I did.
In court paperwork, an underage girl told police Morton came to her house early Thursday morning through a back door. Her mother, Kendra Scott, then showed up banging on the door, yelling, "Who was at my house?" Scott says she went inside and found Morton hiding under the girl's bed. Police say as Morton was leaving the home unarmed, he was shot somewhere near the front porch. Detectives discovered he had a gunshot wound to the back of his head. The girl told police her mother has told her in the past if she discovered a boy in the home, he would be faced with violence. People look at this and they say, well, he should have been in that situation in the first place.
And I agree. I do agree. I do not condone his actions as going and mingling with a 13-year-old. However, when you're cognitively not 20, what do you expect? And then I found.
And listen, he's cognitively not 20, right? But he also was tricked. She told the boy she was 17 years old. She lied to this man. So you lied to a disabled person. And then they said she Ubered him over. That's why his family didn't even know he left. And mama come in, big mama bear, as they say, with the gun, rootin' tootin' like she Yosemite Sam, killing bro. And now she expects us to have sympathy. And there are people on the internet who believe that this woman deserves sympathy. Just stupid.
Room. And as a woman, why are you defending a 20-year-old for being in a 13-year-old's room?
As a woman, you're going to say as a woman. Do you realize that saying as a woman makes you look even stupider? Because collectively, let's be real about our society. Ever since we've been taking what women say serious in our society has went to shit. Me Too movement, everybody going to jail. Oh, we want to get in the workforce and work. Now you got to fight for hours with these heifers. Then they don't even want to work. They get the job. They figure out a way to get you out the job. They get the job. Now they calling in every day. My kid's sick. My kid got a birthday party. I want to go to Cancun with my friends. I want to have girls' night. My period cramps. Let's just face it. The minute we started letting women run point in our society has went to shit. The women brought in the feminism, the environmentalist bullshit. We can't build nothing. Our prosperity is down. We got to worry about going to jail over shit we didn't even do. Baseless accusations that they've learned to weaponize against us for their own personal benefit. Look at the situation with Shannon Sharp. Bro had to pay $10 million to a prostitute that he's been screwing for a decade because one day she woke up and decided, you know what, I want to retire. So let me lie and say he raped me, he did this to me, even though it's proven that they be engaged in that kind of conversation they was having for years doing it. Bro had to pay to keep his life from being ruined. Women are holding this country hostage, and not just the men of this country. They're even doing it to other women. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. She lives in Canada, right? She was talking about how she just got a job and the female at her job was treating her like shit, right? It's the lady who's her boss, and she's right under a guy who is the head of the whole company. She said, man, this lady is always flexing about how she's the second-hand lady to this guy, and she can fire me in an instant. And she said she's just making my life a living hell, right? So she said I had to go to her boss, which is a guy, and let him know, like, yo, this lady is tripping. She's going crazy on me, right? She's just doing too much. She said, and the guy checked her and everything's good because she said she was ready to quit. So I said, damn. I said, that's crazy, huh? So much for feminism. She's like, what does that mean? I said, you see how the lady was an asshole and you chalk that up to her just being a female? Oh, she's just a female that's an asshole? I said, the way your feminist mind is set up, if that was a guy doing the same exact thing to you, you would have said he was a misogynist who hates women and is picking on you just because you're a woman. But when a woman is doing it to you, which proves that people can be assholes and gender really doesn't play a role in people being an asshole, all of a sudden, oh, she's not doing it to me because she hates me or because she dislikes me or because the sisterhood is fake. She's just doing it to me because she's a jerk. But when we created this environment that allowed women to use someone's gender as a scapegoat or use their gender as a scapegoat, we basically blew up the world. We basically gave females the best arsenal they could ever dream of having to destroy our society from the inside out. A woman can ruin a man's life who never did anything wrong with a baseless rape accusation. Ask my friend Brian Banks. Go watch the movie about Brian Banks, Long Beach, California, where I live right now. A woman destroyed his life. He was a star football player, lost scholarships, lost what could have potentially been a long career in the NFL because of a baseless accusation, being accused of something he never did, and he ended up going to jail for almost 10 years. How does he get his life back? From the age of a kid. Now we got another example. Now we got another example of this young autistic man, 20 years old. He's deceived and seduced by one young woman lying about her age, which he's not all there. He's delayed. And then her vicious, hateful, satanic mother, who then comes in and doesn't just shoot him because she thinks there's an intruder, finds him. He runs away and she shoots him in the back of his head. And what are women doing? Was the initial reaction of the women, hey, you know what?
Why are you?
Was the initial reaction like, you know what, we need to see what's going on with this because this don't add up, right? Right? Because we know the man was hiding under the bed. Nah, as a woman, as someone who ain't gonna think shit through, as someone who can't see past the tip of their damn nose when it comes to discernment, as a hyper emotional person who's leading with emotion and many times don't even want to consider rational or logical thinking, that's what you say when you say as a woman.
As a woman, why are you defending a 20-year-old for being in a 13-year-old's room? In this Kendra Scott situation, I'm seeing way too many grown women defending a 20-year-old and blaming a 13-year-old, blaming the mother and both of the non-male people in this situation.
This is my opinion and what I'm seeing right now, right? I see a lot of women coming out and defending a 20-year-old, right? I even have a young lady that's in my comment section of my original video talking about this situation. Excuse me, basically saying that, oh, he has mental situations and that's why he didn't know that she wasn't 13. The reason why a lot of these women are defending this man is because they're defending their brother. They're defending their cousins, their fathers, their uncles, their husbands who look at girls in those ways and find those girls attractive.
So because they're basically looking at the facts, right? And this is the hyper emotional, hyper ignorant female, then her number one accomplice, which is the hyper emotional beta male, who really doesn't even believe what he's saying, because this guy doesn't even sound like he believes what he's saying. That he's just saying it to get a round of applause from a bunch of females who he's probably gay, or he probably doesn't get women. So he comes online and lives like this second life where he's popular and women care about what he thinks. They're defending his brother. He says they're defending their brother who looks at young women and is inappropriate. Oh, are they defending their brother who these chicks go and have 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 kids with, knowing he's cheating on them, knowing he's not going to commit to them? Or sees the guy who has 4 kids by 4 different women in her own community and still decides to open up her legs for him? I don't want to hear that, because I'm going to tell you something about women. A lot of women don't care if a dude is a child molester. They'll still lay up with him if he hit in the back of that thing. I promise you, I know a couple women who were with dudes who were certified pedophiles, They were warned. They even fell out with their family over it. And they still dealt with the dudes. Why? Because all they cared about was their own lust. All they cared about is their own perverse desires. The minute you start thinking women are doing shit for virtue, the minute you start thinking women are doing stuff because their moral compass dictates that they do that, then I understand that you don't know anything about women. Because one thing about a woman, women can rationalize any action that they take. Women could kill, a woman could drown 5 of her children and in her mind make up a reason why that was justifiable. We just saw in Florida, the lady killed like 3 of her kids and then said, oh, it's because of COVID and got off. The reality is, though our women may be equal to us in pay, equal to us in earning power, equal to us in like opportunity under the law and all of that, our women are not equal to us when it comes to being held accountable for their actions. Every day, they are getting away with things that would send a man to prison for life, that would destroy a man's life. Even you got teachers touching on little kids in school, right? How much time do these women get? 2 years? Probation? Oh, you can't be a teacher anymore. Minimum systems. Minimum sentences. Let a man touch a kid out of school. He's going to jail for 60 years. Let a man rape a girl at the school. He's never going to see the light of day. We have a 2-tier justice system, one for men and one for women. And because we have a 2-tier justice system, our women act in an animalistic way whenever they see fit, because the more hyper-masculine they become, the more their lust for blood grows. Why did this lady shoot this boy in the back of the head? If you had him at gunpoint, if you knew your daughter snuck this dude into the house, why did you murder this dude in cold blood?
Right? They've always been those individuals in the family who use words like don't put our family business out there, don't throw smoke.
Yeah, right. So he admits to the creepy uncle stuff.
Your mama told you
where they're protected. You know, hold on.
As a woman,
at 15 years.
as a woman,
I want you guys to see. I'm trying to move this over.
I need to make this video.
Because
Your
I
mama
want y'all
told
to
you
see.
if you ever bring somebody.
as a woman,
Okay, here. So here we go. I want y'all to look at the comments. And I got you, Mr. Edward. I see you in the comments. I want y'all to look at the comments. Mother did the right thing. This is 46 minutes ago, which shows you that even as the facts are coming out, women are still being, dare I say it, they're being defiant. They're still rejecting the facts of the incident. They refuse to allow that to have a bearing on the way they perceive this murder. And they're just going to double down. Hey, it doesn't matter. If we catch a certain situation, even if it's a situation we created, then we have the right to murder somebody in cold blood. Then you got the guys. I don't think people understand how young 13 is. That's a whole 7th grader. Yes, it is. But when your mind is, when you are developmentally disabled, right? And someone is telling you, hey, I'm 18, I'm 17, right? Your mind is not mature enough to understand, hey, this person is lying to you. This person is manipulating you. I could take an autistic person right now, give them $5, tell them go in the store, buy something for $4, and tell them to get your dollar, give you your dollar back. That person will go in that store. That person can say, hey, let me get that $5. All right, you don't get nothing for this $5. This is mine now. That person go outside. That person say, okay, and turn around and walk out. They're developmentally disabled, guys. They don't understand. Their mind is not that of. It's not where their age is not a reflection of their cognitive ability. Understand that. So when this girl went above and beyond, I can understand if bro snuck through a window, any of that type of stuff. Okay, it don't matter if you're disabled. What would you do if you found a predator in your home? No. He was invited in. He was Ubered to your residence by your own daughter. And I'm sure when you pulled the gun out, I'm sure your mother was telling you. I'm sure your mother was, your daughter was telling you, mama, nah, da, 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 and you still murdered this dude. You still murdered him. And we know why. You didn't want to be known as the mother of a fast-ass little 13-year-old girl. And there's fast-ass girls at damn near every age, 12, 11, all that. When I was 12, there was a girl, she was a Mexican girl. She was 12 too. Her name was Monique Freaky. Go to the back of the alley and she'll let you finger bang her on top of a dirty mattress, bro. Now, I never did it, but I watched it happen. And they called her Monique Freaky. And she would tell you, come on, let's do it. She would try to get you to do it. That's when we was 12. You didn't have to force girls to play hide and go get it when you was 11 and 12 years old. All women know this stuff. All men know this stuff. And we all know that we were all complicit. We were all equally wanting to do it. Now, all of a sudden, oh my God, she's 13. She's incapable of doing anything sexual. She's incapable of being fast and hot in the ass. She's incapable of luring somebody over her house for sex. She's incapable of doing, no, she's not. They're not. None of them are incapable of any of that. We have to pretend now because women have taken over our society and we've gone from patriarchy to matriarchy. We have to pretend to believe that. Even though we know it's not true, even though they know it's not true, even though God knows it's not true, we have to live in a lie as a society. Believe all women, because women don't lie. What are you talking about? Some of the greatest events in history have taken place over the lie of a female. I just watched that movie, Odysseus, the Odyssey. That whole movie comes from another story where a woman was cheating on her husband who was a king and tried to run off with another man back to his kingdom when her husband had invited them as guests. You don't think that's a deceptive woman? You don't think that's a dishonest woman? 1,000 ships launched, according to the mythology. 1,000 ships launched for a woman because of her deception. And thousands of men died over that. But we gotta believe all women because we have to believe this idea that they don't have the capacity to tell a lie. I don't ascribe to that. Why is the narrative that she's fast instead of that she was groomed? She was groomed. She was the groomer. She was the groomer. And any grooming that took place was due to her mother being a negligent parent who was leaving her home. Why aren't these women saying, why was this young 13-year-old girl who her mama knew was fast because she warned her? So that means you knew, your mama knew you was fast. Why would your mama then in turn still leave you up in the house all night by yourself? When I was 13, I lied about my age and stuck a 20-year-old in. In hindsight, there was nothing about me that read 16. I actually was very shy. You wasn't too shy, heifer, because you sneaking 20-year-old men up in your house. In actuality, I was very shy, looked very much younger than I was because my parents did not play. I refused to believe he didn't know I was much younger. This guy also knew better. It's unfortunate that the little girl will have to live with the trauma and her mother will likely have to serve time. Teach your daughters that creeps can treat you nice, shower you with compliments, and they can be attractive. It's manipulation and it's grooming. Do you see how there's no accountability possible? I'm just asking you, do you see how there's no accountability possible? I was 13. I lied to a 20-year-old man, snuck him in my house, and that's his fault. I lied to him, and he was grooming me. Come on. I'm not even doing no red pill stuff. You lied to this man. You snuck him in your house, and he was grooming you. That's like me letting the exterminator in my house and then shooting him and saying, bro was trying to kill me. But this is the world we've created where women can sit and say, they can literally disprove the shit they're saying in the very statement in which they're saying it, right? But they still can walk around like, yeah, what I said makes total sense. And this got 64 likes behind it. So there's 64 ignorant ass people in the world. I was 13. I lied about my age and snuck a 20-year-old man in. In hindsight, I didn't look 16. Girl, in hindsight, you was fast in the ass. I wasn't fast in the ass. I was actually very shy. No, you weren't. Shy people don't, especially shy women, do not sneak 20-year-old men in their mama house. You don't know who you are, or you know exactly who you are, but don't want to accept who you are or who you were. This is the mindset that leads to someone sneaking an autistic man in their home and then the mother come home and killing him by shooting him in the back of the head. We will never, ever be held accountable for nothing we do. So we can do all the mental gymnastics necessary to justify. You will not catch me defending him. I will, however, defend the mother all day long. Why? It's because those women have men in their families that would do the same thing and they'd still defend them. What? I'm not defending none of them. They are all wrong. They're defending family members that have that type of behavior. Come on. Honestly, I blame his mom. His mom. Because the 13-year-old girl snuck him out the house, tricked him, put him in an Uber, brought him to the house, and then hit him under the bed and he got killed. But he's mentally disabled. If she knew her son was struggling with mental health issues, why would she just allow him to roam the streets without making sure he was okay? As a mother, especially knowing your child has mental health issues, I would be extremely worried and doing everything I could to make sure he was safe and getting the help he needed. Nobody on earth could prepare for a 13-year-old girl tricking a young autistic man to come out of his home, get in an Uber, and come down. Nobody can prepare for that because he's 20 years old, but you still got to give him some type of independence because a lot of what it is you got to train this person to be able to live in the world on their own. But their mind, when he gets about 40, his mind might be at the place of a 17-year-old or a 20-year-old, so he'll be able to operate in the world. But this guy got tricked. This guy got tricked and seduced and lost his life. And it was totally unnecessary. It's funny how these same women could see someone charging a cop with a knife and say, you could have shot him in the leg. But when this black woman overreacts and murders somebody, now it's totally justified. If these people didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. I'm being real. But thank goodness I'm seeing something on TikTok that I've never seen.
At 15 years old, I worked.
I'm seeing women push back against it. But let's listen to this girl now. This ignorant heifer right here.
At a major fast food. At 15 years old, I worked at a major fast food restaurant. There was a manager who worked there. By all accounts, he was disgusting. This man used to make very inappropriate comments to me. And when I say inappropriate, I mean, he would say things like, I bet you taste good.
This has nothing to do with the case. But the reason why I played this clip is because it highlights exactly why women defend what this woman did. When a woman does something wrong, right? Or when a woman is abused, right? Women, or when a woman just makes an accusation, even if it's just a baseless accusation, what women do is they immediately go back in time in their mind to a time when they felt they were assaulted or wronged or violated, right? And a lot of people who are violated, they blame themselves for what happened to them, right? And a lot of women carry that. Like, I blame myself, what a guilt. But when another woman makes an accusation, whether it's baseless or not, women rally around her because it allows them to go back into their past and basically remove the blame and guilt they feel for whatever happened to them, right? It's like if a woman has sex with a man, she regrets that she had sex with him, but she had sex with him willingly. And then later on, she comes back and tries to say he raped me. No, at that time, for whatever reason, you wanted to have sex with that man. And when that man, later on, you might have developed a disgust or hatred towards that guy. So now you have retroactive regret, right? You have buyer's remorse, basically, right? Now you want to come back and make it seem like that wasn't a willing act. Now he forced himself on you. So it basically justifies why you ended up having sex with this person. People do it all the time. Go listen to the Ken the Man song. I hate that I gave you niggas pussy. Ugh, disgusting. Yeah, that's how women think. I wish I would have never gave him some. But now they have found a way to go back in time. And Cassie with Diddy. Perfect example. Cassie with Diddy. I can rewrite my past by destroying someone else's future. And I'm willing to do it because I'm telling y'all, women they don't give a damn. They do not give a damn. They will destroy your life, your family, whatever. It don't matter if they think that it will shed them in a better light or if it will give them retroactive justice for something that they did that they regret. It will exonerate them retroactively. More low IQ behavior. The mother and daughter are the real demons. You're 100% right, Mr. Edward. This was evil. This was demonic. But when you got a bunch of demons running around, they're going to justify it. It's his fault. The disabled dude who got shot in the back of the head, it's his fault. Come on now. There's a saying in the Bible, it's not what goes in a man's mouth that defile him, it's what comes out. And when these women start talking, that's when you really can see how demonic they thinking really is. It ain't what goes in her mouth, Lord knows. But it's when she starts talking, right? That's when you know how corrupt her mind really is. Better be careful with the women you choose to entertain. Logic is a myth to these types. They will get you up out of here 2 ways, right? No, 100%. 100%. These chicks will get you set up. They'll get you thrown in jail. They'll get a weird charge put on you. Whole time they know it's not true. Whole time they know it's not true. Look at the situation with the E. Jean Carroll chicken Trump. That lady just fabricated a whole lie and made $500 million. We just have a world where women are rewarded for lying about abuse. And they will all try to take advantage of it if they can. Well, there's some real ones out here. There's some real women out here, right? Hey, bro, what are you doing? Don't be coming to my comments with the crazy talk. You murdered, man, I'm getting you out of here. I don't even know why these people come on my channel. Nowhere in the world a 12-year-old should be called freaky. Bro, when I was 12 and she was 12, we called the whole freaky Monique freaky. Nigga, if you are offended by that, get on like you've been spit on. Now we stupid. See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. Black folks want to lie about who we are. And when you tell the truth about who we are, and Mexicans too, when you tell the truth about who we are and who they are, now they want to be mad. Mexicans have quinceañera at 15. Do you know what that whole celebration is about? Screwing a 15-year-old kid. I said that on No Jumper in a room full of Mexicans. They said we can't deny that it's true, but we don't like you saying it. I don't give a damn what you like. That's what it was. Everybody played some hide and go get it. A bunch of people was screwing and having sex in school, in the bathroom at high school. Now we got to pretend like that never happened. Why the kids is still doing this shit right now. No, bro. If your daughter makes an accusation against a young man, we need to know that your daughter is a hoe who was in the bathroom screwing dudes every day. We need to know that. We're not just going to believe your daughter just because she said so. We want to know the full context of the situation so that justice can be served, not so someone can be absolved of bad choices that they're making. It don't work like that. We ain't ruining nobody's life out here because somebody decided on a whim. I wish I never would have did that with that person. We're encouraging our children to make the right choices in the beginning, not make the wrong choices and then retroactively be absolved from their actions because they make up a lie. I worked for years with intellectually disabled and autistic adults. His mind was probably equivalent to an 11-year-old. This is sad on so many levels. 100%. Bro, I used to help out with this Special Olympics basketball team, right? And these dudes would every year play in the Special Olympics, they were autistic. When I tell you, I thought these dudes, because they were really like good. There were 4 guys, they lived together. They would catch the bus over to the park where we would practice and stuff like that. And I was really impressed by these guys. We could talk about the Lakers. I could talk to them like we were peers, right? And I'm like, man, you guys are so smart. You guys like don't even seem autistic, right? You guys don't seem like you're developmentally delayed. Then one day I asked these dudes how old they were, right? Because I see they got a little bit of autism, but I'm like, they're really keeping up with me in conversations. They can talk about Kobe and all this stuff. So I'm like, they're good though. So I'm like, that's crazy. I asked these dudes how old they were. One dude was 58 years old. Another one was 47, and the other one was 40, right? And then there was one more, didn't get his age. That's when it really clicked for me. These dudes basically don't get to the point where they're like 20 years old and they can have a conversation like on that level. They don't get to that point till they're like 60 because they're developmentally disabled. Their mind is not growing at the same pace or rate as ours. So at that time, I was like 35 or 34. So I was able to talk to them like a 34-year-old would talk to like a 21-year-old, right? But they were 60. They were approaching 60. It took them all that time to get to the point where they can have an adult conversation. They on their way out. They damn near at the 4th quarter of their life. And they just now have gained the cognitive ability to talk and have adult conversations, which were still very much very childlike, right? But come on, man. So when you see this, we're not going to let you do that. We're not going to let you basically disregard science, disability. We're not going to let you disregard the nuances that exist in the world because you're murderous and you want to cover up the fact that your daughter is fast in the ass. We're not doing that. It's not going to happen. Okay? We know you want it to happen, but it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, Kendra, you're going to have to take your ass to jail. Do y'all want to hear the rest of this lady's story? And I don't even want to hear this shit this lady talking about. Yeah, he was such a pervert. What the hell does this have to do with this lady murdering this boy? But there's a lot of women who are now stepping up and they're speaking out. Because even this lady's own friend, right, spoke out against her.
So allegedly, one of Kendra Scott's friends.
They killed my baby.
So allegedly, one of Kendra Scott's friends joined a live right here on TikTok to tell her version of the story. And this is the exact reason why I don't run around calling people my friends, because with friends like this, you damn sure don't need no motherfucking enemies. But y'all listen to the audio.
I got the phone call. It was from her cousin. They were saying that she had got arrested. At that time, nobody knew exactly what had happened. They just said she got arrested and they needed some bun money. At that point, I had cashed out $1,500. I'm thinking it's just for some DV shit with one of her niggas, which is typical normal shit, right? So then when I got the phone call back, they was like, oh.
So wait, what we finding out? Mama ain't no saint. Mama got N-words, niggas coming in and out. She having domestic violence situations. She having to get bailed out of jail. The mama is violent. The mama is violent, and she is a person who regularly engages in violent, volatile situations.
She didn't unalive the dude. I'm not gonna say her daughter's name. She's still a minor. I'm respect that. She unalived him. Okay, well the bitch ain't getting the bun, so everybody just held off till we heard more. For one, it wasn't no sneaking in. She knew of their relationship. They had been dating going on 2 years. Okay. He was able to come to the house and do everything. However, she had told him he could no longer come over there because she wanted him to pay her light bill.
What?
He didn't have the money. So she told her daughter he cannot come over here no more until that motherfucker give her some money. Okay. He didn't steal her mama credit card. Her mama got him the Uber because she lied like he was finna bring her cash. That's all he had, cash. He wasn't able to cash out, steal none of that. All he had was cash, right? However, that's why he made it there. She told him she was on the way home. He could be there when she's there so she can get the bread. That's why it's 30 minutes apart. It wasn't no, she was trying to sneak him in and get him there before the mama got home. No, he just arrived literally because it takes about 15, depending on if you in Cordova, it takes about 30 minutes for you to get back to that side of town.
Her and her daughter was manipulating this slow boy. Her and her daughter were manipulating this mentally disabled boy. Man, I see it. I see it immediately once the girl said it. They were manipulating him for money. She was letting her daughter hang with this dude. He probably, where's mind at? He probably wasn't even trying to get sex. He probably just over here calling her his girlfriend, because I worked with an autistic guy and every girl was his girlfriend. Oh, that's my girlfriend. His mind wasn't thinking perverted. He just, that's my girlfriend. Oh, she gave me a hug. She my girlfriend, right? This guy probably wasn't even doing nothing with the girl. Now we finding out the truth. I told y'all. I never heard this video.
Okay, that's how long it took. She got there. He didn't have the money. That's when he ran. They get into an argument. He ran into her room, shut the door. He got up under the bed. She talked. That's when she got the gun, went in there and get the fuck out of my house, all this and that.
Now, if somebody arguing with their mama and a grown-ass man, 20 years old, runs and hides under the bed, you know that this person has a mental illness. He's still in his child brain. He ran. That's sad as hell. He ran and hid under the bed because in his mind, he's just a kid. This is just his little girlfriend who he think cute. He just crushing on. Do somebody who runs and hides under the bed sound like somebody who's a predator to you? If he was a predator or a groomer, he would have hit the door. Exactly. Gaming him for his SSI check. You said, you took the words out of my mouth, Mr. Edward. Gaming him for his SSI check, bro. That's what this is. Happen every day in the Black community. Every day. You knew that this boy, like your daughter, she was lying to him, talking about she was 17. She probably was, I'm 17, and when I'm 18, and he's probably just like, I got me a cute little girlfriend. In my mind, I'm 12, I'm 11. I'm not thinking, right? And boom, they was manipulating, bro. And she killed him because he didn't have the money.
He said a few words, turned around and walk out. That's when she did what she did. The reason why they're trying to get her for premeditated murder is because the daughter ended up showing the text messages where she said, if he come back to my house and ain't got my money, I'm going to kill him.
Wow.
Yes, she's
So
going
it's
to jail.
not, yes, the predator thing.
He should be in
could
jail.
Be a thing. That's an issue, yes. But however, the mama was condoning.
No, but do you see the women? They not even trying to, this woman is telling the situation. They're not even trying to consider the facts of the matter. He should be in jail. Girl, he mentally disabled. He's developmentally disabled. She's lying to him about her age, and the mama is helping her lie. If you ask somebody their age, how old are you? I'm 17. Or I'm 18. You don't look 18, but then they mama come and be like, yeah, she said she's 18. You're not going to question it. You're not going to question it. And he's already slow, so he's really not going to question it. But see how the women, he should be there. They don't care. Women, they thrive on this deception. They thrive. All this stuff y'all see is women being exposed for the way they operate, right? And they don't want the truth about the skullduggerous shit that they are willing to do to be exposed. Now, I already know what they do. I got 6 sisters, right? I know how women do. I know a woman will go screw one man all night and come home, wash her coochie in the sink, and jump in the car with another dude to go screw. And then get dropped off by him and jump in the car with another dude to go screw. And all 3 of them dudes thinking she his girlfriend. I know women to do stuff like that. Women won't admit that they'll do shit like that, but I know they'll do it. I know a woman will go in the morning and let a dude bust ejaculate inside of her and then go the same night and let another dude ejaculate inside. I know that women will do stuff like that. They do stuff like that more often than you think. Now, in our minds, we want to believe that these chicks are virtuous because we want to believe nobody's touching our woman except for us. But guys, you got to be realistic. Women will lie to the point of murder. That's why in most good murder movies, there's a woman involved. This lady killed this boy because she was prostituting her daughter out. She was pimping out her daughter. And he was a young, mentally disabled trick who her daughter I'm pretty sure her daughter didn't have to put out for this dude. If this dude is running off of an argument, he's running and hiding under the bed. I'm sure bro ain't pulling this shit out and doing nothing like that. Especially if the girl didn't want to, right? You're manipulating this disabled man. You're using your daughter as the bait. And you killed him because he didn't have the money to pay your light bill. And you've been to jail for domestic violence multiple times before because your friends at this point automatically know to run the money for your bail. You're a violent woman, probably a prostitute. And you are, and let me tell you this. She was the one grooming her daughter to be a prostitute. She was the one who was grooming her daughter. But y'all gonna try to blame that autistic man because that's what the narrative that they've created. But I know the truth. There's madams too. There's women who pimp out other women.
Shit that's been going on.
Yes, the mama
we
needs
can't
to be
say
in jail.
nothing to her. We can't say nothing because that ain't our child. We can't do none of that. That ain't our business. However, we can say how that shit is disgusting, but if you allowing it, you are allowing it. She was allowing it because it was making her stay at home to watch the other kids. As far as her.
Now, this is her friend. This is her own friend telling on her. She was letting her daughter manipulate the dude for the money, letting the dude come over and all that because it would force the daughter, not force her, but it allowed the daughter, it made the daughter stay at home so then the daughter could watch the other younger kids while mama was out all night. And where was mama? Probably at the hostro.
Having a job and 2-3 jobs. Kiki ain't never held down no job. Yeah, she worked at Amazon. Her real name Kendra, but we call her Kiki. She worked odd jobs here and there, but bitch ain't never held down no job for real, for real.
I never heard this. How did I know? How did I know? She held down a job. She held down a job on the blade. That's for sure.
Though she wasn't coming from overnight working, she was coming from her dude house to try to get the money.
So allegedly, one of Kendra Scott's friends joined the live right here on TikTok to tell her version of the story. And this is the exact reason why I don't run around calling people my friends, because with friends like this, you damn sure don't need no motherfucking enemies. But y'all listen to the audio.
No, I'm thankful for the friend. I'm thankful for the friend telling the truth about the situation. I am thankful for the friend and grateful she told the truth about the situation because it shows you these chicks are straight up do some heinous shit. This wasn't because he was no intruder. Now we know. She didn't kill the dude because he was an intruder. She killed this dude because she was basically trying to get money out of him. And look at the women on the side. All you got to do is look at these comments. These comments tell you everything you need to know. You're still victim blaming. I will wait for the trial. I have heard so many conflicting stories. They don't want to believe it. This dude here saying they backtracking 100. I believe the friend, the mom was trash, and so are the friends. So who let her sit around and neglect their kids? Exactly, because it all makes sense now. I believe her, just not about the $1,500. Yeah, yeah, she did say $1,500. Is there any proof that the lady even knows her? Come on, bro. This lady is telling details upon details. This was very common when I was growing up. I got plenty of stories. The friends are dead wrong too. Thank you, 100. Yes, ma'am, you are absolutely right. The young lady is definitely a victim to this madness. Yes, but she's a victim to her mother. She's a victim to her mother's wild, hoish behavior. And unfortunately, the daughter is falling into the same pattern of behavior. The daughter was groomed. You guys are right when you say that. But the daughter was groomed by the mama. The daughter wasn't groomed by that dude, that autistic dude with the mind of an 11-year-old. The dude who, when they start arguing, got so scared he ran and hid under the bed and clutched it. How big was this dude to even be able to get under a bed? Y'all think about this. How small do you have to be to get under a damn bed in 2026? Notice you aren't placing what? Pamela Twitty, finish the statement. I'll put you up here. Notice you aren't placing any. I'm blaming all the women. I'm blaming her mama, her, and his mama. Ain't no daddy around. I'm blaming that on the mama too. Come on now. And I don't want to hear, oh, the dad's is deadbeat. Women know when a man, whether he gonna stick around and take care of his damn children or not. Women know that. But women also think, yeah, he a bad boy out here doing everything, going in that job, but I'll change him. This pussy gonna change him. No, it's not. No, it's not. Might change him gay because he tired of it, but that's how women think. And then they get left with all these kids with no daddy around. Now they got to go sell it and do everything else to get money to survive. And soon as their daughters get of age, they groom them to do the same thing. That's what Kendra, or this girl Kendra, she was teaching her daughter slowly but surely. I'll let this autistic dude trick on you as long as he pay me too. That's what that's about. I'll let this young-minded autistic man, his developmentally disabled autistic man, trick off his SSI check on you as long as he pays me too. This is pathetic. Hey guys, I want to ask you all to like the stream. I love the comments. Let's keep the comments going. If you hate what I'm saying, make it known in the comments. If you think I'm weird and all that, make it known in the comments. We love those comments. Also, if you guys can help us reach our donation goal, we're asking for 5 super chats of $5 or more. You see the little dollar sign, hit that, write your comment, press send. I will read the comment live on air right here, right now. Also, we have Cash App available, pinned to the chat at the bottom. We have PayPal available, pinned to the chat at the bottom. And we also have Discord. Feel free to join our Discord. I'm in there every day, responding, talking, reacting to things you guys say. The conversation always continues on Discord. I am Brandon Tucker. This channel is Defiant Brandon. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to accountability. Let's keep moving.
And now that Kendra Scott's friend has come forward and exposed her, don't y'all start backtracking on y'all takes. Especially the ones that was using little pieces of my video to fit your narrative. And to all of the people who keep saying, oh, I don't believe the friend. It's hard to believe that a grown-ass woman will make up an elaborate story like that, especially when the story incriminates her. In acknowledging that she knew that a grown man was messing with a minor for over 2 years. Something that she could probably be also locked up for. But
a disabled
nonetheless,
grown
whether
man.
you like this word fast or not, it still exists.
Fast
Do I
ass.
believe that little girls are born fast? Of course not. Little girls are born innocent, just like all children.
Little girls look at they fast in the ass mama and they become fast. That's why I had to go off of my sister. We damn near had a whole fist fight because my little 6-year-old niece in the back seat, standing up on the seat, twerking, singing damn Sweetie or whatever that bullshit was. And it was talking about some sexual stuff. I told her, get your little ass down and sit in that seat and put that seatbelt on. Don't be telling her. I said, shut your stupid ass up. This and that. I said, nah, you over here grooming my damn niece, bro. I'm not doing it. What else is it called when you got your 7-year-old daughter? You got your 7-year-old daughter listening to damn Sweetie and Cardi and fucking Sexy Red, 6-year-old. That's grooming too. But it's only grooming, but they only want to acknowledge it's grooming when a man is doing it. And they don't even, and I'm telling y'all today, long before any man grooms a girl, young girl, 9 times out of 10, they mama already done groomed them. Already done fed their mind with the bullshit. That's why you need that. That's why you need your daddy around. So you can stifle the influence of the mama. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women, they do it without even thinking. Because a lot of them got groomed. Do me a favor. Lean in right here real quick. Tell me this. Oh, shoot. Yeah, you just talk about it. Do you know who Sexy Red is?
I've heard of her.
Do you listen to her music?
No.
Do you know who Doechii is?
No.
Do you know who Ken the Man is?
No.
You don't know who Ken the Man is?
No.
Do you know who, you know Cardi B?
Yes.
Do you listen to Cardi?
No. Except like 1 or 2 songs.
What song do you listen to Cardi B?
I forgot the name.
You don't know the name, but you listen to Cardi, right?
Yeah.
But are these people in your rotation?
No.
Who's in your rotation? Give me your top 3 artists you listening to.
It's not really a top 3. Well, actually, I have 2.
Okay.
Destroy Boys and Kiss the Scientist.
Kiss
the Scientist.
Kiss the Scientist and Destroy Boy. That's in your rotation, right? Okay. What do they talk about? Sex?
No.
Prostitution?
No.
Stripping?
No.
Twerking ass?
No.
They talk about it? Dongs? Fucking? None of that?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, her mama listen to all that shit. We ride in the car, her mom gonna put that on, or she loves it, and I'm okay with that. But her mama is grown. She is not. So as her daddy, I'm gonna tell my, don't be playing that shit when my daughter's in the car. You listen to that shit on your own hood rat time. When she's with you, that's not getting played. The most I'm gonna play with her in the car is some Drake. Why are you over here looking at me? Get your ass back in the room, bro. You a liar. You be listening to that shit. That's what I just said. That's what I just said. I just said you listen to it on your own. Man, get your ass in the room, bro. Go. Look, bro. Anyway, I'm telling y'all. I just said that she listened to it on her own, which she can do that. She's a grown person. But you're not going to feed that shit to your daughter when she's 6 years old, 7. Now, my daughter's 17. So she right there. But she still doesn't listen to that stuff. She has her own stuff that she listened to. The whole point I'm making is this. Stop being out here talking about some man is grooming your kid when you bumping in your damn baby Benz and your daughter's in the car seat and all she hearing is my booty hole brown from Sexy Red. You're grooming. You're grooming too. You are actually laying the foundation for grooming. Do you understand? Some guy tried to talk to my daughter. They went to get a pizza last night together, right? And my daughter, she's wearing her volleyball shit because she just came from volleyball practice. Some guy, old guy, tried to talk to her. Oh, I was wondering if I could share that pizza with y'all. My daughter just walked past his ass, ignored him like it was nothing. And then she said, he lucky I didn't call my dad over to whoop his ass, right? Her mom is like, yeah, he might have had to just pick us up because we would have jumped his ass or whatever. We'd have jumped his ass, right? But this is what I'm telling you. If you keep your kid from the negative influence, even the bullshit that you innocently do, not realizing it, it will be very hard for any man with intentions that aren't pure to get close to your kid. But when you raise your kid to where, you know, their coochie is up for grabs to anybody, to the highest bidder, how are you going to dare say somebody was grooming them other than you? Because if at 13, she got the autistic boy cashing her out for whatever they doing, which could just be hugging, smooching, whatever. What happens when she's 15 and now grown men with a fully working mind start giving her attention? When she's out and about at 16, like my daughter's at the pizza place, right? Now, we live in a white neighborhood. I don't know why there was a nigga at the pizza place, but he was there. Okay, it is what it is. the dude tried to talk to her. But if I haven't been growing up getting groomed by my damn parents in the sex hypersexualized music that we let our kids listen to with them in the car, my mind's not even on that. Y'all niggas ain't even heard of Destroy Boy. You ain't even heard of Kiss the Scientist. God knows I never heard of it till we had to take her to a concert for it. But this is what I'm talking about. Stop with the bullshit that somebody else is grooming your kid. Your kid meets somebody one day and they was grooming. Nah, grooming take place over a period of time. But if you go on Instagram, who's on there? Who's on there? Grown black women with their whole asshole on the Instagram, damn near naked. You know who's also on the Instagram? Young black girls. Don't tell me about grooming if you're not going to acknowledge the way the role that you play in the grooming, the desensitization that the way you desensitize our kids to hypersexual material, hypersexual situations, hypersexual scenarios. It's a whole thing going on. And then to try to reduce it down to one person and one experience, no, bro, no. The mama was grooming this girl. The mama was teaching the girl to do what she do. She was actually showing her. If a dude give you money, you can give him this. And if a dude is offering you money, let me know and I'll let him come over here. She was basically pimping out her daughter. She was basically running a brothel. I ain't even going to say basically.
But it's the parents, like I told y'all before, the peers and their environment that changes them into something different. Just like the little 14-year-old boy that shot the pizza delivery driver out in Philly. Do I believe that he was born a killer? No, of course not. Do I believe that he knew exactly what the hell he was doing? Yes, I do. And so did the courts. That's why they charged him as an adult. Stop acting like teenagers do not know what they're doing, because they do. Does that give a pedophile a right to deal with them? Hell no. But it does make them easy targets for these type of predators because the parents are not properly watching them. And
listen, I understand what she's saying. The parents are not properly watching them. But in this case, the parent was actually grooming the daughter. And I see grown-ass women in the comments saying, he was grooming her. The mama was doing it. The mama was using the autistic man with the disability to do it. And the mama said, you got to pay me first.
And according to the friend in Kendra Scott's case, she was pimping hers out for some light bill money. So with that being said, everything I said stands, except for the fact that I said that the little girl wasn't a victim. And she is. She's very much a victim in this case. So I do take that back, because anytime your mother is allowing a grown-ass man to sleep with you just so she can get some bill money, everybody, every adult in her life has failed her. And hopefully she gets put in a home where some real adults are able to protect her from these.
100%. This is why I tell these fathers, hey, you need to stay in your kid's life. I don't give a damn what her mama did or said. Your kid needs you around, because I mean, let's be real. You know what her mama was doing when you met her. You know what her mama was doing after you left her. If you was paying her for some cooch, you know your mom that her mama got the prostitute tendencies. And you know that the monkey don't fall far from the tree. So you got to watch that situation like a hawk. And the minute you stop watching like a hawk, you failed your kid.
Type of predators.
But this lady's not wrong. Now, y'all was looking at y'all, Brandon, this, that. What y'all gonna say now? What y'all gonna say now? It's other women in here saying it. The women that choose to be honest are saying exactly what I'm saying. They're saying exactly what I'm saying. But it's crazy to me how you still got women. You still got women in here trying to defend this lady. You still have women trying to defend this lady. And then try to bring their own personal. Girl, we ain't here for you. Because 90% of y'all lying. There's no such thing as a fast girl. Yes, it is.
There's no such thing as a fast girl. Fast girls had to be made up. And they're made up so that people could absolve themselves of the burden of having to protect certain girls. Because only certain girls, can get justice. You have to be pretty. You have to be young. You have to have a certain amount of money. You have to have a certain kind of skin color. You see this play out whenever there is an assault allegation and the girl does not fall into those categories. So that brings us to the Kendra Scott case, right? And I'm not even going to even talk about like the case itself.
Of course you're
I'm
not.
going to talk about the people who are bringing up, well, she should have been out there. She's fast, this, that, and the other. And people are confused. How could you blame a little girl for having a grown man in her room? And a lot of people, I believe, have to blame the little girl.
No, nobody has to blame this girl. We blame her because she Ubered the dude to her house. We blame her because she brought the dude over, called the mama. He gonna come. Can he come over? He gonna give you some money. Come on now. I understand you're 13, but now your mama is grooming you. I get that. But at the same time, you're going above and beyond to get this dude over there. And maybe you got something you really want and bro gonna buy it for you. Who knows? But at this point, I'm going with this story. The story I'm going with and the idea I'm going with is what it appears to be to me. It looked like the mom and the daughter was using this dude for his SSI money. I highly doubt that there was actually anything sexual happening.
Because if they don't, they'd have to admit that nobody protected them. And they still like their parents and their aunties and their uncles and their brothers. They still kiki with them at Thanksgiving and Easter, and they want to believe that they were loved and protected. But if they're going to continue to believe that, knowing all the things that happened to them and all the things that they were not shielded or protected from, they would have to admit that their parents did not protect them. And when we talk about generational curses, that's what this is. Your parents didn't know how to shield or protect you, or chose not to shield or protect you. And then you, in turn, don't know how to shield or protect your own child.
Yeah, but this lady didn't shield or protect her child. So it doesn't matter how much they try to explain it or explain it away. It all goes back to Kendra Scott failed her daughter. She was pimping her daughter out. She was letting this dude do whatever he was doing with her daughter, which I'm believing that it wasn't sexual. Just me working around developmentally disabled people. Just the whole idea that he ran and hid under the bed just off of them arguing. I believe bro had a childlike mind. And I believe they saw that. I believe they manipulated that. And they used that to get money out of this dude. That's just what I believe. But yeah, so it is what it is. But I just don't want this idea that oh, she was getting groomed and all this stuff. yeah, she was getting groomed all right, but who she was getting groomed by wasn't that guy. It was her mom, unfortunately. But guys, we need to do an update on the Nolan Wells situation. It's not going to take long, probably take about 5-10 minutes. These people, these folks, the parents of Nolan Wells, this bamboozling grifter, Ben Crump, guys, these guys are just diabolical, I must admit. But before we get into that, I want to show you guys what we've been up to, man. I've been on daddy duty. Cause you guys heard my daughter. She's a volleyball player.
Story tonight, a mother gives her life to
Middle school teacher Verdarius Morton.
This is why I'm always late. This is why I'm always late, and this is why sometimes I don't be able to come live because I be having to go. But all of you people who've been, yeah, they won too. That's for my day ones who've been on here who know about the journey with that situation. So I want to update. Yeah, they last tournament they won. Well, the first day of the tournament was yesterday. Wait, no, it was the day before yesterday. So they played on Monday, and they won 2, and they lost 1. And then they go back today, and they're gonna play some more teams. But it was cool because they got to go up against some D1 athletes, some athletes who are being recruited by Division I schools, and they did really well. They stepped up, so it was good. But but hopefully they'll come back today and go crazy and they'll win the whole thing. But yeah, man, that's what our kids should be doing. You know, your kid, you know, do you have a hobby for your kid? Do you have like something for your kid to do other than run the streets and be fast? That's really like what it's all about. What is your kid doing to keep themselves busy? And some people think, oh, as long as my kid is just, you know, at home, they're good. But the thing about kids is they'll find a way. Kids will find a way to, even if they're at home, they'll be doing some crazy stuff, you know, while you're gone, because you're gone. They're at home, but you're gone, right? Oh, I'll show you guys the first day of the tournament, the rest of the first part of the tournament. Let me see. But that's why I like my daughter. She's in sports. She did volleyball. I'm happy about that, you know?
All of my ops say that. Thing that we see President Trump.
Yeah, but y'all.
what should have been a routine trip to the dentist became the day Aitana Rodriguez Arriaga died.
Damn, y'all need to go follow my Instagram, Define Brandon. I got news coming on there all day long. So any story that I don't cover here, it's probably on my Instagram, and I'm gonna actually start covering those stories. I gotta figure out exactly how to package it, but like I said, I'm very busy with daddy duty. But no, always. I ain't worried about that. Zarth, you 100% right. Don't worry about being late support. Yeah, you know, we out here putting in work, man. And that's what a lot of this boils down to. Be involved in your kid's life. Find something for them to do other than shake their ass on the internet. You know what I'm saying? How is a 13-year-old girl even coming into contact with a 20-year-old man? Well, why is she at home? And that's one of the problems, I believe. That's one of the things I believe lead to a lot of the problems in the Black community. This idea where we use our kids as babysitters. Your kid ain't your fucking babysitter. And if they always watching kids and raising kids, in their mind, it's like, shit, I might as well have my own damn kids then. Because I'm always watching kids. Why is that girl stuck at 1 a.m. babysitting kids that you laid up, busted open, and had? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, and it really needs to be addressed. But all the women in the sisterhood bet they won't bring that up, though. Bet they won't talk about why they kids babysitting their other kids, but they quick to talk about somebody grooming and somebody a pervert and somebody weird. The weirdo is you. Why are you gone at 1 a.m. and your kid is stuck watching your other 3 kids with a grown-ass man in the house? They got to have some type of a life too. Oh, wait, your kid can't be 13 because the little 13-year-old boys is out having fun. And your kid is stuck in the house babysitting for mama. But I want to see if Greg got a good clip on this. Okay, let me see. So basically, this dude, Ben Crump, Nolan Wells' parents were frauding us all. Let's start there. Nolan Wells' parents were frauding us all. They really had us thinking that their son was murdered by his racist white friends. And now we're finding out that everything they were doing, flying the body to another state for an autopsy or to the District of Columbia for an autopsy, all this stuff, bringing in Benjamin Crump, bringing in, the race hustling Avengers, was all done so that they could have so that they can gain grounds for an insurance claim. Because if you're murdered, you can't collect life insurance, right? You can't collect life insurance or insurance based on the maritime insurance that they have for the boats and stuff. But if you die because of an accident that occurs on the boat, right? You can collect insurance money. So while we thought that they were getting an autopsy done to prove that one of these white guys murdered their son, the reality was they were getting an autopsy done so that they could prove that their son died basically in a boating accident. And so all this hooping and hollering we was doing, oh, look at them racists and whoopty bam. Even the one little black boy who was her son friend, he said this has nothing to do with race. But they allowed you to believe it so that they could garner your support. And I hope y'all didn't send these people no money. Let's tap into this.
What do you mean the front of Nolan's neck was missing? I'm about to explain, but we finally got the independent autopsy report that his family had done, and we got some crazy findings. Trigger warning, but first we found out that Nolan was given back without the front of his neck. Stating that during the first autopsy, it was removed by the examiner for further examination. For a sheriff department that keeps saying there's no signs of foul play, you guys keeping his neck says a lot. We found out that Nolan might have been hit in the back of the head because they found red discoloration about 12 by 8 inches in length. The examiner also kept his lungs. So again, the independent autopsy was not able to check if he actually drowned or if he had, water in his lungs. Also, the examiner did say they had trouble looking for bruising due to how far the body was decomposing. But the independent examiner says that they are not ruling out foul play, and they cannot determine how he passed away. So basically, we have to wait for the autopsy from the police. The sheriff keeps saying that there's no foul play involved, right? But for your examiner to remove the front of his neck, stating that it needs to be examined further, and for y'all to still not be able to tell us if there was water in his lungs or not. Okay.
All right, guys. So we got to continue.
Okay. So understand. So now these people didn't trust the examiners over in Mississippi, right? So the parents, they fly the body out to be examined by another medical examiner in Washington, D.C. The findings of the medical examiner in Washington, D.C. are the findings that now black people have an issue with. Mind you, he was brought in basically in for what we thought was an attempt to prove that he was murdered. But now we're learning that it was all that they brought in the new medical examiner so that they could try to make an insurance claim based on Nolan Wells' death. So now Ben Crump, what we're learning about him is he's a civil rights attorney but he is also a personal injury attorney. So he's really being brought in for his personal injury expertise, right? Basically to go after the insurance company and force them to pay out a payment to the family because of Nolan Wells' death. So he wasn't even coming in to say y'all murdered him or nothing. He came in basically as a threat to the insurance company in case they try to say, we don't want to pay you for what the family clearly now believes was an accident that occurred during boating, right? So we were just fooled. This was nothing. This was bull crap. They wasted everybody's time with this, had black people ready to hit the street and start burning stuff down just so they could do what we know black folks love to do when their kids die, just so they could profit off of their son's death.
An investigation, and we'll explain that as we go through the report this morning.
Now, Ben Crumpton wasted everybody's time. He let people think that this was a murder. But if you listen to him explain this autopsy, you realize this was a big sham. The political chumps of the world, African Americans, have been bamboozled once again by grifters and con artists and shysters who dragged our attention to this stuff because they made us think this was foul play. In reality, it's just a play for some money by his parents.
The manner of death, undetermined pending investigation.
What's the point of autopsy if they can't determine death?
Statement of examination. This forensic pathologist was retained to perform a second autopsy examination on the body of Nolan Xavier Wells. Preliminary findings, and this is significant. Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy. He said the body had marked decompensation. He said corona incision of the scalp.
Decompensation. Yeah, decomposing. I thought the word was decomposition, but I could be wrong. He's the lawyer. I'm not. So, Ben, you gonna sit up here and tell me as you hunched over looking crazy as hell, you gonna tell me that you got your ass on stage and you didn't read this autopsy prior to that? This dude got on stage with a blown up autopsy and clearly has not read it before and is attempting to read it to people at this press conference that is hosted and funded by who? The NAACP. This tells me that this boy parents was boule. This tells me that his parents was part of the degenerate elite. That's what I call the black elite, the degenerate elite. This was some boule stuff. And your attention got dragged here so that the black boule could hold this insurance company hostage and basically threaten him into making a large payout because of this boy death. They know exactly how he died. We thought the white friends came back and just didn't say nothing. They know exactly how he died. And they know it wasn't murder. But they're going to let us think that so they could weaponize our ignorance against the insurance companies.
Brain removal, Y-shaped incision of the anterior torso. And he talked about the organs being removed as is common.
Now, do you hear black people? The organs are, they're screaming, dumb. That's common. That happens during an autopsy. They remove your organs because different chemicals and things released by your organs can help them understand how you died. But did you hear all these black folks in the audience scream because we have now, as a group, bought into this conspiracy theory that they're killing black folks to harvest their organs? Guys, on my ID, I have organ donor on my ID. They haven't killed me yet. Black folks, we are the most unhealthy of the unhealthy groups on the planet. What the hell do they want your organs for? If they was gonna kill somebody for their organs, don't you think they kill somebody who's healthy? Somebody who eats right? Somebody who does what they're supposed to do to take care of themselves? I'm a fat ass. I know they don't want my organs. I know they don't want my pancreas and liver and shit. I know they don't want all that. My shit is abused. Okay? Yo ass 390 pounds female can't walk from the door to the kitchen without getting out of breath, but then told yourself in your mind that somebody is ready to kill you to harvest your your rapidly deteriorating organs. They didn't think those boys disemboweled him. Please stop. They didn't think those boys on what? Why would these boys need to disembowel him? Come on, Ash Young. Use the brain God gave you. They didn't think these boys did nothing. What the hell if someone murdered you or killed you? Why would they then gut you like a fish? That makes no sense. No, that's not why they're yelling. They're yelling because they believe, look, I'm telling you as a black person, and any black person in here, please put a 1 if you agree with what I'm saying. Black people have been totally brainwashed by this theory, this conspiracy theory, that people are killing black people to harvest their organs. So they yelled out and shrieked because when he said the organs were removed, they believed that the coroner removed the organs to go sell them, and that the coroner is now in the Mississippi coroner is in on the conspiracy to harvest Nolan Wells organs for sale or for auction to the highest bidder. That's exactly what black people think. We know these boys didn't disembowel him. But I'm telling you, every time a black person die, whether they kill themselves, it's an accident or whatever, there is a significant portion of African Americans who believe that the white man killed him to harvest his organs and sell them to the highest bidder on some black market. Smiley, you are 100% right. They're rage baiting black people. That's exactly what Ben Crump is doing.
Accompanied in the body cavity. And that when you have an autopsy, the organs are removed from the body and they are dissected and examined. And then they are put back in a bag within inside the body. So when they're buried, their remains will all be with them. But in this occasion, if there's going to be a second autopsy, then the organs are put in the body cavity so the second pathologist could be able to examine the organs as well.
Okay, so they just were shrieking, oh my God, they're harvesting his organs, right? Oh my God, like I told y'all. That's what they was thinking in their mind. I know my folks. But now he's saying that the organs are going to be put back in the body so the next examiner can see them and come to a conclusion on what was the cause of death. See, just that little snippet. Now, let me tell you what they're doing on social media. They're snipping out that section where he says that the organs were removed from the body. And you have conspiracy channels, black rage bait channels, literally purposely deceiving black people to make them think Nolan Wells was killed and his organs was removed. No, nobody at this point, nobody believes they did anything to Nolan. Nolan got drunk, probably fell out of a boat or something and killed and hit his head. It's the same. There's a NFL player, Travis Henry. He was great. He played for the Bengals. He died. You know how he died? He jumped in the back of a truck with his friends, and as the truck went to pull off, he fell out the back of his truck, hit his head, and died. This happens this is something that is common. especially when your ass is drunk. Here we go. You don't know that, so you can see that just like they don't know that you can't just make up some shit. Bro, you didn't even listen to him say that they put the organs back in the body. I do know because I have common sense. Common sense goes a long way if you use it. Common sense goes a long way if you use it. You understand? Low value man. Black folks can make up anything to convince themselves otherwise. You ain't lying. You are not lying. Black folks are listen, we dominate in sports. We also dominate in the art of mental gymnastics. We will find a way to make ourselves believe something that is totally preposterous. And people like Ben Crump have made a fortune, an absolute fortune, taking advantage of this superpower that Black people possess.
Very significant for Dr. Mitchell was that the anterior inner neck structures were absent, not received with the body. And we'll explain that in just a minute. Dr. Roger Mitchell.
So he's reading the inner neck parts inside his neck were not missing when the body arrived. Oh, and then we'll explain it. But Ben Crump is not slick. He knows exactly what Black folks gonna do. They're gonna hear that piece. Once he said inner neck parts are missing, they're gonna cut their mind and their ears off. Oh, see, they was harvesting his organs. They wanted the melanin out of his body. Just crazy shit.
Said that the focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region, is significant because he cannot determine why you have that red discoloration in the back of his brain. That's significant. He also talked about, Mr. Williams, if you can, just the fact that as it's common practice, he was missing his throat when they received the body. And he wants to know why they held it back. He's not drawing any conclusions, but he said he would want to examine it if there were neck fractures or compressions to the neck. And he thinks that's significant to know at autopsy. The reason he says he would hold it back when he was medical examiner because he thought that there may have been some issues with neck fractures. The last thing that is significant is what we said before about him, the condition of his body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or unconscious? Was he forced or unforced into the water? He said those things are very significant. But he started off talking about this red discoloration in the back of his head is something that was of great concern to him.
Yeah. So you see that, you heard that. Okay.
Yeah. So basically what Ben Crump is doing, he's trying to basically keep this, ambiguous. The red on the back of his neck is significant. Okay, how do we know the red is not caused by when they were removing the neck, the organs and muscles and stuff from his neck? He's just trying to, I'm telling you, this press conference was only directed at low IQ African Americans. Point blank, period. This press conference was only directed at low IQ African Americans. And why? Look at how much money they're making. Look how much money they're making. They've raised almost $1 million off of an accident because they purposely presented it as if it was a racially motivated murder. Nolan Wells' parents have made $1 million in donations off of purposely deceiving everyone and presenting his death as a racially motivated murder. And 99.9% of this money is coming from black folks. This is just disgusting, man. This is absolutely freaking disgusting. They're manipulating you. They're making you think it's us and we all together. These are some elitist boule black folks. These are some boule black folks who, as soon as they got some money, couldn't wait to get the hell out of. These black people live in an all-white area in Mississippi. They didn't move next to the Klan. I don't think the white people the Klan. But this is what black people try to say. Oh, the white people the Klan. They moved next to the white folks to get away from black people. This is what we do. But when they won't, but then when the tragedy happens, they want you to pay them for the loss of their son. In order to get you to pay them, they just manipulate you. And that's what this is. This is some low-level manipulation, which has secured them $753,000. And let me tell you this, in the press conference was just a little bit of rage bait so that it could help them hit that number. Because when the black people, the low IQ black folks, go and watch clips of the press conference instead of watching the whole thing, they're going to run to this site to go donate. Because that's their way of holding the white man accountable for organ harvesting Nolan Wells. You gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. This ain't about race. This is about manipulation. This is about people who look like you taking advantage of you and using your hatred and your degenerate disdain for other races as a weapon against you. They're weaponizing your own ignorance, reactionary nature, and hyper-emotionalism against you. They are getting rich off of that. They know their son wasn't murdered. They know their son was not murdered. But they know if they make you think that a group of white boys lynched a black boy, you're going to go straight to your wallet and send them whatever they ask for. You got to be better than that. Guys, listen. I think we need to remember that we are living in a world that every day is growing more complex. It's growing more competitive. And it is changing rapidly. Every day, the playing field is changing. If you keep trying to play by the old rules, where everything is dictated by race, color, creed, where someone lives, how much money somebody make, how much money somebody don't make, what somebody got, what somebody don't got. If you keep trying to live like that, judging people by their skin color and how much money they got in the bank, you are going to get left behind. You will be the fodder. You will be the what is it called? The stuff. You'll be the mulch that the future is built upon. Change your mind. Stop being so damn reactionary. Use the internet for more than just entertainment. Use the internet as a way to learn, as a way to research and find the truth, as a tool. Or you're going to be left behind. You're going to be left behind, and you can see it happening. You can see people. You can see people like Ben Crump. You can see people like Al Sharpton. You can see people like Jasmine Crockett. You can see them manipulating you, manipulating black folks to get whatever it is that they desire. Stop letting these people play you. Stop letting these people treat you like a damn chump. But beyond that, thank you so much for everything you do for this channel. I appreciate you so, so much. Until the next time, do me a favor, take care of yourselves, but most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.